You hear me?
We got you, buddy.
All right, we're good.
Your new nickname is the Babyface Assassin. Your face, you look like you're 14. Oh my God. Connected to this fucking mutant body.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Nick. Thanks for coming on. And
Thank you for having me, man.
this is very exciting because you are actually our first guest that I've never really met and got to know. I did meet you briefly at the Arnold with
Yeah.
Nate Spear 2 years ago, or
Yeah.
last year, not in 2019.
Yeah.
You were somewhere around 290 at the time.
I was. Yeah, that was right before I prepped for USA's last year.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. I'm like, you were short. You're only a couple inches taller than me, and
Yeah.
you were closing in on 300 pounds. It's just mind-boggling. So let's dig right into this. I don't know a lot about you, and this makes it pretty cool because I'm going to learn a lot today. And tell us, like, where you from? Where you living? Where did you where'd you grow up? Were you an athlete? What did you do?
Yeah. All right. So I was born and raised in the same house. I never moved. I live in Pine Hill, New Jersey. Growing up, I played soccer, baseball, and football were my main sports. I was a very, very athletic kid. Winning was always my thing. I always pressured myself in every sport to be the best, to be the champion at everything I did. And shortly after that, I had some tragic things happen at a young age, which steered me away from sports a little bit. And I started training when I was 13 years old. And being 13, I started to notice results very quickly, and I just became addicted to that. So I actually stopped playing sports completely at probably 15, I want to say. And throughout high school, all I did was just work out. And everyone said you should probably step on stage. And once I graduated high school, I did my first show in 2012.
So
fell in love ever since.
Were you a big kid to begin with? Were you always naturally a little bigger than all your buddies and
so when I was like 12, 13, believe it or not, I actually saw around 2006, I saw the movie 300. You ever see that movie? Yeah, and I wanted to look like that. I wanted to look like that. So my main thing at the time was to have nice arms and a six-pack. And at 13 years old, I got that. And then I was like, I want to be big now. I want to get big. So throughout high school, I got bigger and bigger, and I graduated high school at 230 pounds.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What are you, 5'6"?
5'7".
Okay. And you were 5'7" in high school at 230 pounds?
Probably. I was probably like 5'6", 5'7". I don't think I grew. So.
Yeah, that's more than I weigh now. Wow. So did you end up playing like football all the way through your senior year, or you stopped?
No, I stopped all that right before high school, and I only played baseball my freshman year in high school, and I just didn't have the passion for it that I used to, so I just focused on lifting at that point. I knew eventually I was going to compete. I just wanted to wait till high school was over, and that's what I did.
So wait, you're 24 or 25? How old are you now?
26.
26.
I just turned 26, August 3rd.
Okay, so how many shows have you done? I mean, you haven't been competing too long.
Let's see. So I did the Golds Classic in 2012. I did the Easterns in New York in 2013. I did the East Coast in 2013. I did T-Nationals in 2014, where I placed second to Cody Montgomery that year. 2015, I did not compete. 2016, I did the South Jersey Championship to qualify for USA's. 2017, I did the Muscle Beach, and then I did North Americans, and then I did Nationals. 2018, I did not compete. 2019, I did USA's and took second.
Okay, so go back to that Cody Montgomery thing. You were second to him. Were you guys in the same weight class?
Yeah.
Were you light heavy or
We were both heavy. We were both heavies that year.
he was nasty, huh?
He was, yeah, he was good. He
That
was really
level
good.
of conditioning and separation, and he's
Especially at that age, like
right,
it's crazy.
right. You were probably bigger than him, but he was just
Yeah,
lights.
I slightly edged him in size, but conditioning, he was on par.
That's pretty awesome. So now you're trying to do exactly what he did, which was come in. Well, he ended up turning pro at 20, like a year after winning team nationals again.
Yeah, I believe didn't he turn pro in 2015? He did
Yeah, at
USA.
20 years old,
Yeah,
which is bananas.
and he came in looking insane.
Yep. So you're obviously Nate wanted to ask you something about last year, so I'm going to let him go in.
Okay.
Hey, Nick. So yeah, regards to last year, I was thinking about you last year, this year, especially with like what just happened with Ian Valliere, Hunter Labrada, and you going for your pro card reminds me a lot of when Hunter was going for it, in that there was so much hype leading into it, way more than a normal pro qualifying show, with a whole camp of people saying this is the guy that's going to win. And so I wanted to know what that was like for you last year, where that's how you came on my radar last year. Was the pictures were going around and saying who's going to beat this guy? This
Yeah.
is this is the next pro. He can jump into a pro show, right? Like hype, hype, hype.
Right.
How that felt last year going into the show, and also how that feels this year going into the show, because the hype has only grown since last year.
So last year, I guess you could say the first year that I really had tremendous amount of hype going into a show. So I don't want to say the pressure got to me, but I felt like I really had to perform my best, which I don't think hindered me in any way, but like I did stress myself out a little bit, thinking like I can't let people down, like I have to win. But going into this show this year, like I'm just having fun now. I think last year I don't want to say I didn't have fun because of the hype, but I pressured myself more than I ever have in my entire competing career. But this year I love it. Whatever happens on stage is what's going to happen, and I appreciate everyone that hypes me up, and I've just been staying calm, staying relaxed, and hopefully this year will be a different outcome for me.
So one of the things I noticed over the last year is you've really kind of grown into the business of Nick Walker, right? Like last year, here's this guy coming out of nowhere, tied to Matt Jansen. That's all we kind of knew. And now you have a YouTube page that's been growing really fast. I've been seeing you on lots of different YouTube channels for interviews. You've got the Revive sponsorship, Raw sponsorship, Iron Rebel. You're doing a lot more coaching. Can you talk about how that came to be? Because there are a lot of guys that are in your shoes or even past that, got their pro card, and have nothing business-wise, no sponsorships, no YouTube channel. So you're really ahead of the curve in I guess, taking that hype and maybe finding a way to monetize it.
So my whole thought process with that is I want to be like the Jay Cutler of bodybuilding. I want to have a very successful bodybuilding career while also being one of the best business bodybuilders there is as well. And luckily, I have Matt Jansen in my corner that has helped me a lot with learning about business and helping me with business. And, he's been very supportive with helping me with Raw, with Revive. And I take in all the knowledge that it gives me, and I have displayed it, through Iron Rebel, through MegaFit, who I'm now with as well, on my YouTube and other aspects as well. So I want to be, because we all know bodybuilding doesn't last forever, and once it's done, you have to have different outlets. And if I can perform as good as I do in bodybuilding in the business aspect, I think I'll be good.
Are you the point now where this is bodybuilding or related things, so coaching, your sponsorships, is your full-time income, or do you have a side job from this?
Yeah, no, this is my full-time income.
That's great to not have your pro card yet, but to have a full-time income. What was the last job you held before you were able to go full-time?
I actually worked at a gym right around the corner from my house.
You still training there?
At that gym? No.
No.
That was we had to let that one go completely.
Where are you training now?
Right now, I train at that gym, Tillis and Belmar.
How is
World
that?
famous now.
Oh, those are the guys that were getting shut down?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So how's that going? Are they fully operational? Everything's good?
Yeah, they're staying very strong, very positive, and I know the owners very well. I'm very good friends with them, so I'm just, I'm in their corner. I know what they're fighting for, and I stand by that.
So when they were being forced to close or whatever, were you still able to get in there and train by yourself, or
what
did
happened
they actually
was,
never close?
So what happened was when they first originally opened up, was it like May, I want to say? It went pretty strong for a while, and then it kind of they did shut down for a couple of weeks at the end of May, and then I called Matt at the time and I said, look, like, we're on a good roll. I got nowhere to train. I said, can I come down for like a week or so and train down there? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I was able to go to Matt's house where he had his awesome setup in his garage now. And for a week straight, we just killed it in his garage. And luckily, I live probably 45 minutes from Delaware. So June 1st, Delaware opened, and I was able to, once I got home from Matt's house, I was able to train at the gym Fred Smalls trains at.
Oh, nice.
So I was there. I used to travel there for probably a good month. And then Philly opened up, which is probably a little close, like 20 minutes from me. So I went down there for a little while. And then the owner of Attila's hit me up, and he's like, come train, man. Like, we're open. So I said, I just had the fear of being mid-workout during prep and, cops come and shut the whole joint down,
Is New Jersey still closed as a state, or the gyms?
Yeah, we're basically, everything's almost just about open except gyms, really, and movie theaters. But New York is now about to open up gyms, which I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you got everything open in every other state but Jersey. But it is what it is. And yeah, they're operating, and I've been going there for the past month, I'd say now, and it's fun, It's a great gym, great atmosphere. They blast music, they got great equipment, and it's never a bad workout for me.
And they're fighting for you too.
Yeah.
So you keep mentioning Matt. Matt's a big influence for you, Matt Jansen. Is there anyone that, in the New Jersey area that was a specific mentor to you as far as bodybuilding goes? When you first started, how did you know what to do? How did you, prepare for shows or the training? Obviously, you weren't with Matt back when you first started.
No. So to really go back, my dad used to compete. So he was a big influence for me as getting started. And he taught me a lot of the basics. But a lot of it in the meantime was me just reading books, watching a bunch of YouTube videos, even watching some of your YouTube videos. But the first real coach that I had that really helped me learn a little bit and further my knowledge was Jeff Long. I was with him from 2014 to 2017. So he taught me majority of my things, and we parted ways on good terms. There was no issues. We're actually really good friends now to this day. I just felt at the time in 2017, he was having kids now. Like a Pro Subs was really taking off for him, which I'm very happy for him, by the way. He's doing very well. But I just felt like his priority was more towards that now. Which is fine. You know, like I said, I'm very happy with where he's at right now. But for me to further my bodybuilding career, I have to take it to the next level now.
You needed someone who was all in.
Yeah.
All in for you. Yeah, you guys, that makes sense. You guys are very similar too. Similar height.
Yeah.
Jeff, I don't know if you know him, Nate, but he was a freak coming up. Like,
Yep.
he's really
Monster.
short.
Yeah.
He had huge legs, huge calves, huge everything. And he had a good career. He never like nailed the conditioning. If he did, he would have won a lot of shows.
For sure.
You know, he was really good, and now he's doing really well with business. I think he's into like construction too, right? His family's in construction.
His dad is, yeah.
Yeah, he put up some pictures of this house he built, which was like a mansion.
It's a gorgeous house.
Yeah, he's doing well. Good for him. So you moved on from Jeff. That's when you started with Matt Jansen in 2017.
Well, prior to that, I did work with Dom Cardone for a little while.
Yeah.
Which we did nationals together, but we parted ways after that, and Matt took me under his wing, and we've been together ever since. And now it's like me and him are like family. You know, we're like, of course, we still have that client-coach relationship, but we're like best friends now, man. We just talk about everything at this point.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest differences, you know, when you switched over to Matt? Was it just more of the attention and being on top of things, or did he drastically change your nutrition, your training, your protocols, any of that stuff?
It's his personality. Like, he's very caring. Like, in the beginning, you know, he was getting ready, you know, for the when we first got together, he was getting all his clients ready for the Olympia in 2018. And even then, like, yeah, he still gave me a lot of attention. He kept me under the radar for a little bit, but we talked a lot. We became really good friends in the meantime. Food-wise, there was a lot more food than I was used to. The training was a little different, it was more low volume, very high intensity, which I was never a high volume guy, but it was like a lot less volume. Like one max set, call it a day, move on. So that was quite an adjustment for me. But as far as growth factor, I felt like that worked the most.
Because you shot up, I can probably pull it up through screen sharing, but you shared a photo. I don't know if it was 2015 to 2019 or 2017.
17, yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up here.
I was like 200 pounds in that picture.
Oh, it was absolutely crazy. Let's see. I pulled up your page, yeah. Where was it? Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
2017 to 2019, right?
Yes.
204 to 263.
Yeah.
Or actually, you're 2020, right? It's a recent pick on the right.
Yes, this was probably a couple weeks ago when I was doing a YouTube video.
Wow.
That's one of the craziest transformations I've ever seen.
So Nick, what did you weigh last year at the USA's?
238.
238, where you were second. And you are, what are we, 3 weeks?
I'll be 2 weeks on Saturday.
So 2 weeks. What is your weight at today?
263.
Holy shit. And what were you 2 weeks out from USA's last year?
It's probably around 240 something, I would say.
And are you harder today? I mean, the pictures you've been posting.
Oh yeah,
That rear double
like
bar,
night and day, man.
It is.
Like I even think 2 weeks out from last year to this year, my conditioning is way better, way better.
And what is your anticipated weight for the stage this year?
Probably around, after we drop water and everything, probably around 255-ish.
Holy cow.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, the criticism of you last year was just the midsection, right? You got so big so fast, and midsection grew a little bit. But all of the pics that I've seen you post recently, your midsection looks much, much better. Can you talk about what the game plan was to tighten that up?
So for me, what me and Matt did, we just stayed away from exercises that we thought would thicken the waist. And I also, you know, when it came to certain exercises, I took more of a wider approach to widen my upper body while giving off that better V-taper look. And this entire prep, I've worn a waist trainer. I've been practicing vacuums every morning, and it's paying off. So, and last year, everyone thought I maxed out my physique. I couldn't get bigger. I couldn't get better. I'll never fix my waist. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to prove everyone wrong.
Now, what was that like with, lately, obviously, I'm sure you've seen all the videos out there from the various YouTubers of, very, very much in a negative light, sort of comparing you to Dallas, I guess, because of Matt's your coach, because of how young you are and how quickly you got so big in the last few years. Where this is like, Nick's gonna die any day now, right? Like if this kid,
those comments are insane, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. People. So what I want to express is people need to understand. I come from a background of genetics. Like my dad was a big guy naturally. Nothing against, not to be mean, but my mom is a bigger woman. My brother naturally is a bigger person, and when you diet, you eat the food you need to eat consistently, you train the way you need to train, once you figure out what works for your body best, you're going to get the results needed. And when you add, a little enhancement to that, boom, you're going to grow. There's nothing else to it. We don't do nothing drastic that people think we do. And me and him, we laugh about it all the time.
Yeah.
People need to understand that genetics do play a huge role. Like it's not,
You see photos of, we had Cutler on. Cutler at 18 or 20.
Yeah, he was bigger than me at 20.
Michael Hearn at 16 or 18 or 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's all genetics. I mean, there's millions of people that take drugs. There's very few top bodybuilders.
Yeah.
But that's all nonsense. What do you watch who you're going to be competing against? Do you think about that? Do you follow the other guys? Do you know who's going to be up there? I know my boy Nate Spear wants to take you out. So have you been watching him, watching his progress at all?
I do. And Nate Spear's not going to beat me. I'm sorry. I know he's my friend too, but this is my year.
Tell him.
Oh, he knows. He knows. Oh, he knows. I have nothing but respect for Nate, though. Like he works very hard.
Nate's a good dude.
He kills his conditioning second to none. It really is.
Yeah.
But if I come in the way I know I'm going to come in with all the size I have, just turn the lights out. It's over.
Yeah. Well, that's not being disrespectful. That's realistic. That's
another thing. People don't understand. Like, what do you? When a question like that comes around, what do you want me to say? Like, oh no, Nate Spear is gonna win. Like, I'm doing this show to win. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No one goes to compete to lose. It's not being arrogant or cocky. It's just being very confident in yourself.
Yeah, as you should.
If you go into a show to, well, I won't beat this guy, so I'll get this. No, you're going to win.
Right. That's great. I can't wait for him to watch this.
This
is great. So, Nate is good. Are there any other guys? I don't know of any of the top names that are supers at this point. Are there any other guys that are dangerous that you got to keep your eye on?
No, I haven't really seen any, but honestly, I don't like to look. I don't, because not that if someone looks good, I get nervous. It's anybody can look good 2 weeks out, a week out, but it all matters how you look on stage,
Right.
1 hour, during that peak week, right before a show, could ruin you,
We saw that with Ian
Yeah.
at Tampa Pro, right? A couple photos
Yeah.
that he put out ahead of time, you know, saying he's going to bring his all-time best, and the stress got the best of him, and you know, we certainly didn't see the best Ian day of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Nick, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, you know, leading into today, I knew about what the average bodybuilding fan knew about you. So I went through YouTube and tried to watch a bunch of interviews, and, you know, majority of them are, what's your split? What are you taking? What, you know, typical.
Yeah.
And I know you've watched this show before. We really want to focus on, you know, what made you you is not what your split is or what you're taking. It's who you are as a person.
Yeah.
It's being able to push through adversity. And so I was watching videos on your channel that you put out, and one of the things that my respect went through the roof for you was you talked about how you got into bodybuilding, and you touched upon it right at the very beginning of our podcast today. Can you talk at all about, you know, what you went through at age 12? And, you know, it's that for me kind of really hit me and stopped me in my tracks and said, holy shit, I have a whole other level of respect for this guy now, and how you were able to get yourself out of a dark place and channel that energy to get you to where you are today.
Yeah. So when I was 12 and I was molested, you know, when things like that occur, you don't really, you know, grasp the fact of what just happened to you at first. You know, you don't understand it because you're young. You don't realize what just happened is completely wrong, and you know, could become detrimental to a lot of people. And as I got older, I noticed how wrong it was, and then I also, which is another reason why I stopped playing sports. I didn't want to be around people. You realize, I noticed I was isolating myself from everyone. I didn't want to be around people. I noticed I was drinking a lot more, you know, at a young age, you know, 15, 16, 17 in high school. I was acting out in a very angry aggression, doing a lot of bad shit, a lot of drugs. And I noticed, you know, what really changed it for me really was I began to really notice what it was doing to my family in particular. And it was like damaging them, because even for years I didn't speak about it. So they didn't even know. You know, I was just, you know, a horrible person, to be simple about it. Like I was almost like a piece of shit at the time. And they couldn't grasp it. They didn't know what was wrong. So when, you know, there were times where, you know, my mother would just be in tears because she wouldn't understand what happened. And then the day I told her, it was, you know, seeing your mother in tears, knowing she couldn't protect you from something she had even no idea about is heartbreaking. Like, you don't know how to act. You don't know what to do. So that moment alone changed me forever. You know, my father even broke down, and to see that, my father don't, excuse my language, but he don't fucking cry for nothing, dude. Even my brother, you know, it was that moment where I was like, I need to get my shit together. And I did immediately. You know, I woke up the next morning, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, today's the day. And I use
Like
that
around
now.
17 or so.
Yeah, yeah. And I use that now in bodybuilding, you know, it's especially when I'm training really heavy, you know, I use that aggression toward, you know, the heavy sets. That's what I think about. But I also use it now as a positive. You know, I like to, I know now that I'm not the only one. You know, there's many people out there like me. And if I'm the type of guy at now where if someone needs help, I'll do anything to help them, because I don't want to see people go down the path that I was heading down, you know, doing drugs, you know, drinking, being, you know, thinking about being suicidal. It's not the way to live, you know, and things like that, you can't help it, and it'll always be with you. It will change you forever, but it's how you go about it, which will make you who you are. And I chose to, use it as a positive and change my life for the better. And if people have a story, I want to help them.
So were you ever able to confront your abuser?
No.
How does that feel? Is that person around? Were they ever caught for other people? I mean, I can imagine your family must want to kill this person.
Yeah, believe it or not, this particular individual was a baseball coach for kids, and he got along with my parents after what he did. He got along with a lot of the parents. When we were younger, he would come to parties and associate himself, and it was actually hard for me to watch, because it's somebody who just did what they did to me, having a full-on conversation with my family as if nothing happened.
Is he still alive?
Oh yeah, he is. As far as I know, he is. Yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, does part of you want to go have a talk with him?
No, because I don't even. I want to move past it. I don't want to talk to him. It's over. I moved on. It made me a better person, and I'd rather not revisit my past anymore.
I hear you. Reason I ask is I had a similar situation. I haven't talked about it much either. I did it on one interview, and it was a guy overseas, and so a lot of people don't know. But I was 12 years old, same thing. And just like you, as you got older, you started to realize how wrong it was.
Yeah.
And as I got older, then I started, like 5 years later, started talking about it. One of my coaches was a cop, so I told him, and he was like, "Well, the statute of limitations but we can keep an eye on him."
Yeah.
He never ended up getting busted, but to this day, I want to bump into him. I want to see him. I want to find him.
Don't get me wrong. I always think about that. Like, what if, spare the moment, I'm out in public and, there he is.
Yeah.
I can honestly, I don't know how I would react. I don't know if I would approach him and say, let's have a chat. I don't know if I'd go beat the shit out of him. I don't know if I'd go walk away.
Yeah.
Because your past right there, what changed you for life is right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do?
I don't know so much that I would beat his ass because he'd be really old right now, but I would want to confront him because every day I know I wasn't the only one, and I know he didn't stop after me.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So that's the thing that eats me alive is, at that age, those motherfuckers know that you're not strong enough mentally to understand the damage and to know to stop it, to try to stop them. So it goes on. And that's the part that eats you alive. It's like, man, I could have stopped this motherfucker and he's still getting away with it. But yeah, man, I feel for you and you're not alone. You're not alone,
Thank
brother.
You.
And,
Thank you.
It's a great platform for you to, I know it's painful and tough to talk about, but whenever possible, to share your story and to let younger people know that they're not alone and that there is a way to deal with it and there is a way to move forward and be successful and not to beat yourself up over it. That's a huge platform.
Yeah, I agree.
I just learned that this morning. I didn't know any of that. So I commend you big time for moving on and doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what this is a Nate question here. What is your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself after you win in a couple of weeks? Are you going to shut it down to make improvements? Or are you going to come out of the gate next spring and go win the New York Pro? What are you going to do?
Me and Matt's plan, after we win North Americans, we're swinging for the fence. We're going right for a pro show. And if I can so happen to win that and pull that off, we're going to Olympia.
So imagine that you win the North American.
We're gonna go for it all, and hopefully it happens.
And what would Chicago be a week later or something?
Well,
Chicago.
I believe Cali's the week after, but our plan is to do Chicago.
Okay. See, I like this. I like the thinking. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say, "Oh no, I don't want to think past this show," but you're confident. You know, come on, let's do the math. You're 5'7", you'll be approximately 255 on stage, 250, whatever. If you're a wacky condition, nobody's going to be close. I love Nate, but if you're at your best and he's, you know, at his best, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So you go moving forward, even at the pro level. I mean, who's 5'7", 250, other than Kai Green? You know,
Yeah.
You're gonna be a handful. So that would be a hell of a story. You win North American, go win Chicago, and go to the Olympia. Imagine that.
That's a dream come true, man. You know.
Yeah, well, it's not far off. It's not too far fetched.
Me and Matt are working every day to pull it off.
So they've recently changed the qualifications, at least for, what was the show? Was it the Europa? I don't know if they're going to do it for all the shows going forward, or if it was just one. They made the announcement, I think yesterday, of top 3 qualify for the Olympia.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't know if it was all the shows.
Well, are they doing that because a lot of people can't come to the Olympia? Is that their?
Yeah. So
did you see that?
Depending on the division, I'll look it up. Depending on the division, it was either top 2 or top 3. So
Okay.
it was open and 212 were top 3.
Okay.
And I want to say maybe men's physique and classic or bikini
Yeah.
top 2, right? Where they probably have enough people.
Yeah.
But didn't specifically say all shows going forward. It was like, is there a Europa coming up? Because I know there's Cali.
I'm not sure.
There's Cali and Chicago.
All I know is about Cali and Chicago.
I'll see if I can find
And
it.
obviously Boston got canceled.
Yeah.
So when I first started, that's what it used to always be. Top 3 qualifies for the Olympia. But
Really?
then, it started getting out of hand. We'd have
So many people, right?
28 212 guys in a show.
Yeah.
Like, the fans only want to see the top 15. You don't
Right.
need, you know, and then the Olympia committee's spending all that money flying 28 guys, putting them up in hotels, giving them a stipend, and that money could have went back into prize money instead
Exactly.
of, you know.
Yes.
I think it should be 15 guys anyway. That way everyone gets paid.
I think 12 to 15 is a good number to have.
Yeah. But under this
It
year,
makes it very competitive, and it's enough.
right.
So it's the Europa Pro in
When's that?
Spain. I think this is, although I don't know if these people will be able to come over, but Europa Pro, October 11th in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, top 3 in open, 212 classic, men's physique, bikini, and figure. Top 2 in fitness, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding.
Interesting.
So maybe because a lot of shows got canceled, maybe this is the only show, and they're trying to, maybe
Yeah.
they'll adapt and do these for some of the U.S. shows as well.
Yeah. That'll be cool.
Wow, that's interesting. So Nick, who was your favorite bodybuilder growing up? What were the bodybuilders that really inspired you? I mean, I know Jay Cutler and Ronnie
Yeah.
Coleman.
Jay Cutler was number 1. Dorian Yates was number 2 for me. I was actually a very huge fan of Kevin Levrone too. Those 3 were probably my top.
Yeah. Any local Jersey guys that really revved your engine, like Guy Sestanino or Nick Trigili?
No.
He's from New Jersey too, right?
Yeah, me and Nick don't get along.
You don't jive? Why not? What's going on?
He don't like me.
You don't like you? What's not to like?
I don't know. He's always making videos about me and Matt now, so.
Yeah, it's probably more the Matt thing. You don't like Matt. And, you know, some of these guys, man, they're probably really good people when you sit down or nice people. but they get on behind their computer screen and do a video, and they're trying to create content and get views. And next
Well,
thing you know, they're
yeah,
saying dumb shit.
that's because a lot of people, you know, a lot of the fans, whatever, they like the drama, they like the negativity. That's what feeds off. You know, I don't. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I will
We
not
don't
promote
do it.
that. I won't. I will never. I will never trash somebody on the internet. I just can't.
Right. And
It's
that's
just
good.
not.
You'll do good things, because all those people that do that, they're they have nothing else to offer. You know,
Right.
I'm not saying that about Nick Trigili in general, or anyone in general. I'm just saying people that spew negativity at all times, they're making up for something, a lack of something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you stick to what you're doing, you know, you're gonna go places. You know.
Well, that's my goal. You know, like I said, I want to be one of the best bodybuilders in the world. I want to be one of the best businessmen in the industry, and I want to be a great positive influence for the young ones coming up. You know, or anyone for that matter. You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to leave this industry with any bad publicity. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
searching. Everyone's searching for the shit.
Exactly.
So have you ever met Rich Gaspari? He's a Jersey guy.
I did. Yes. He was actually at Tillis and Belmar had a. I forget what one of those things are called, but a bunch of booths and stuff. And Rich Gaspari was there with his Gaspari Nutrition, and he's a real nice guy. I like him.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Good guy, hard worker.
Very.
So do you live in South Jersey? I mean, you're not far
Yes.
from Delaware?
No, so Delaware, like I said, Delaware is about 45 minutes from me, and then I live about 20 minutes from Philadelphia.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I wasn't shitting on Guy. Guy's a good friend of mine.
Oh no, I love Guy.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him to train with me all the time. He's, you know, he won't.
Oh,
he
he'll
won't do it.
fucking bury you. Just
I
ask
know.
him.
He won't do it though. He's like,
Yeah, of course he won't.
He's like, you lift much heavier than me. What are you going to train with me for?
Is that what he said? Guy's pretty strong for, you know.
Well, I said, well, I'm thinking my head. It's not about strength. You train intense, man. Like that's
Exactly.
That's why I want to train with you.
Right. I mean, Matt, I'm sure you're a lot stronger than Matt Jansen, but he'll train with you. Train his ball.
Yeah,
right?
we love training together because it's like, yeah, even though I'm slightly stronger, like we push each other always to be better. And I did train, little freak factor he is, Sean Clarita.
Well, he's an animal.
We did a shoulder workout together, and this was like in our mid off season, and my man is just so bubbly.
Yeah, he's like a little
and round. It's insane.
Yeah, he is.
I'm like, wow, and he's strong.
Yeah, he is. I love Sean's physique. I think
I'm a huge fan of his physique.
I think he possibly should have been second last year.
Totally agree.
You know, he's just, his physique has matured so much, and I mean, per square inch, you can't do much more with that. You know,
that's why I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see what he looks like this year.
Well, he's been consistently improving, so I don't see why that would change.
He looks even bigger now, but still has that good shape.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens this year.
Yeah, it's exciting for a year that's been a clusterfuck with the COVID. It's turning out to be pretty interesting and exciting.
Seems like a good end of the year.
So Nick, when you were setting up this year, kind of the game plan of, okay, we're gonna shoot for North Americans, was there a lot of doubt? I know Jose and I have talked about shows that I want to do eventually, like pro qualifiers, and so we were looking at Universe, but there's this huge, you know, is Universe even going to be able to happen in Jersey? Any of these shows, right? So did you, was there doubt in terms of when you started prep, let's say March into April, May of is this show even happening as you're watching show after show after show get postponed or canceled? You know, or did you just go in and say, like, we're going for it. If that gets canceled, we'll pick the next one. We'll pick the next one.
Yeah, at the very beginning, I had a lot of doubt, which was, and also I didn't have any gyms to really train at the very beginning. So right there, it was like waking up every morning, one, knowing if I was even going to have a show, and two, waking up every morning thinking, where am I going to train today? You know, so right off the bat, it was very unmotivating. But I was training at Attila's low key for a little while, so that kind of kicked my motivation up. And then I also just began to think, hey, if North Americans gets canceled, we'll do nationals. And if that gets canceled, worst case scenario, we got in shape for summer. And we'll just rebound out of that and come back even better next year. You know, now that it's fine.
You're not looking to get much bigger. I was going to say, you know, like for me, where I still need to put on size, the thought process was just have an off season, right? Like if there's not going to be shows, don't diet down and just grow like you did in, was it 2018?
Yeah.
Take a year off. Was that ever a thought or no, because you don't really need to get any bigger?
See, right now, I don't think size is what I need. Genetically, I'm going to always grow a little bit. That's just my body nature. But I think now, after I turned pro, I think, and I'm sure Matt would somewhat agree as well, the main goal was just to keep refining and get better and improve on what we have. And like I said, in the mix of it, we're going to get a little bigger, but that's not the primary goal anymore.
Refinement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because with the size I have, is if we just keep refining year after year, it's just going to look better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
Do you have, it sounds like you're able to put on size, let's say easier than the average person, right? Given your genetics. Do you have a problem getting lean? Is that a struggle for you? Or if you just lower carbs and introduce cardio, do you lean out pretty easily?
Well, in the beginning of this prep, like I said, from being a little unmotivated, things really didn't move as quick. So we did some drastic changes. We dropped a lot of the fats, a lot of the carbs. I was doing around, like 45 minutes of cardio every day. But then recently, probably 3-4 weeks ago, maybe, we just stopped doing cardio completely.
So you're not doing any?
I am a little bit now, and Matt's cool. I told him, for me, it's more of a mental thing. So I get up every morning for the past week now. I get up every morning. I get on my bike for a good 20-25 minutes just to break a nice little sweat, get the heart rate up. And then after training, I'll do some like 15-20 minutes of stairs and just squeeze everything and, edge out more detail. But as far as, intensely hard cardio, no, not really.
At this point, you're 2 weeks out. Do you have everything in? Is everything there? You could drop water today? I mean, you got your strings,
I
glutes,
think,
everything.
my glutes are striated at this point. And I'm flat as well. So I feel like if we were to drop water and carb up, I'm ready to go.
And you're, what again, 263 right now?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. So you're going to be over 250 on stage.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to be nuts. I can't wait. Maybe I'll fly out there. I got a couple buddies doing it. Nate Spear and Matt Puglia, they train together, actually.
Yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
Matt was my training partner for years.
Really?
Before he wussed out, and I had to take on Nate here. Nate's a lot stronger, so I got to work my way up to his weights. I'm catching him slowly, though.
What is that thing I saw someone post? You're making a comeback?
No, someone posted that. I didn't.
Oh, I was like, uh-oh.
I'm old enough to be a father. I'm just trying to get back in shape and see if I can add some muscle back to my legs. I had a hip replacement a year and a half.
How you feeling after that?
I feel great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can squat again. I can deadlift.
No pain?
Not really. I mean, it feels
awesome.
awesome.
Stiffness, right?
Yeah. My left hip is still not I don't have that full range of motion still.
Yeah.
So people were commenting when I'm squatting, you can see my right side go down a little lower
Really?
because my left hip isn't as loose.
Yeah.
But I can do everything, and it feels great, and I'm highly motivated training with this young buck, and
Awesome.
you know, we're gonna have a good year. You know,
Nick, how are you? Do you have any lingering injuries or aches? You're obviously very young, unlike Jose and I, were all hurt. But are you at this point in the clear in terms of aches and pains and injuries, or do you have some already?
I'm good. I mean, 2 weeks out from the show, your tendons get dry and whatnot, so you get a little achy here and there, but nothing that stops me from anything. Nothing that I feel is a worry once, I'm able to go into an off season. But big injuries, no. I'm careful. If I feel something, I just stop. Like, I'm not even. It's not worth it.
Yeah. I got a question for you. See, as I'm wearing this ANC shirt. ANC is the #1 supplement retailer in the country, maybe even in the world. It's here in Everett, Massachusetts, and it's where Steve Cardillo makes his weight belts. Do you you wear a Cardillo weight belt?
I sure do. I have Walker Nation on it.
Oh, you do?
I sure do.
But you don't have IFBB Pro on it, right?
In 2 weeks, I will.
All right, we'll talk to Steve for you.
I'll put the mutant on that one.
Nice. All right, what else you got, Nate? Any other intriguing?
That's it for me. Yeah.
Well, man, it's been awesome to meet you and to hear you open up, and we wish you the best. I think you don't need any luck. I think you're going to be something special, not only in a couple of weeks but moving forward. We'll have you on after you win. I know you're going to get attacked by everyone, so remember us. We'll be reaching out to you.
Oh, for sure. You guys let me know when.
We want to know how it feels, what your plans are, because it's going to be an exciting weekend. Just a whirlwind of emotion. Like it happened so fast. Like it took so long to get there, and you're like, Jesus.
And then it happens in a blink of an eye.
And then it's gone. And then you're like, oh my God, how do you feel? And you're like, I don't know, hungry, thirsty? I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know how to it's not that crazy,
Yeah.
But enjoy it. Enjoy the whole process. And if you can, which I'm sure you're gonna, document it all.
Oh yeah, I have my camera guy coming out for all 4 days that I'm there, so we're gonna have some good
your
footage.
Meals, your posing, whatever, food shopping or a pump you go get when you put your tan on. The fans love that stuff,
Yeah.
They feel like they're right there with you the whole time, and it's really exciting. So you're going to be competing outdoors for the first time?
Yeah.
Is that strange or what?
It is, but hey, I'll do what I got to do.
Yeah. You're all going to be under the same line.
I even told Matt. I said, I have my mom, who's probably one of my biggest supporters. She loves this shit now.
Yeah.
After we go in my basement, I send him pictures every morning. We go outside and we'll do a couple rounds outside just so I can get used to the posing in the heat.
Yeah. So you haven't even got to experience the full on effects like. Next year, if the Arnold happens and there's an expo, you are going to be absolutely mobbed. There will be lines and lines and lines of people coming up to meet you, where your family would be there scratching their head watching this. Like, these lines are to meet Nick?
Oh,
this is crazy. Forget it. You won't even – things are going to change, because there was a time where you would shake thousands of hands, literally.
Yeah.
Can you imagine today? Everyone's fist pumping, waving from
fist pump. Yep.
How many times are you gonna wash your hands just from a fist pump?
Fist pump's the new normal now.
Yeah. It's sad because, you don't have that intimate relationship with the fans. Like, there would be fans from all over the world. They would come every year at the Arnold, the Olympia, and come up and hug me, and it was such an exciting thing.
It's a great feeling, man.
Yeah, it is. That your hard work paid off.
I love when people come up to me and say how much, they're inspired by me. it's a feeling that you just never forget or get used to. You know, it's a great feeling.
Well, you better get used to it because it's coming. It's coming.
Oh
Even
yeah.
tenfold in the
Yeah.
upcoming years. I look forward to it. I can't wait. Thank you so much for coming again and making
Thank
time.
you guys for having me, man.
And
Seriously.
good luck. You're gonna kill it. And
Thank you.
we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Take
Dick.
care. Thanks.